Screw it. I'm not gonna primp too much for this one.
Kirk Cameron, Kirk Cameron.
I am glowing like an angel over here.
Movement. So I didn't watch any of the other reviews of this movie because I didn't want to like have that affect our review. But now I kind of wonder if I ought to have, so that we're not.
I apologize. Could you
So
slide
forward? You want me forward?
Could you slide back? It looks like I'm in the back seat, or you're secretly a giant.
Well, this way we could just keep zooming between the two of us. Zoom cut to Sarah. Zoom cut to Brian. Zoom cut to Sarah. This movie did that a lot. Is the joke that I'm making.
It did a lot of focus pulls. So, as Giant Sarah was about to say, we are the third group now to go watch the movie Saving Christmas. My God, we have wasted so much money for this website promoting Kirk Cameron.
We're gonna be like half of the ticket sales.
Literally, for this showing, we were half of the ticket sales.
Honestly, yeah, well, I think by the end it was just two of us and two other people. We had a couple walkouts in ours.
No, don't worry. It wasn't like, this is bad, I'm leaving. It was like, oh, I think it's 5 minutes before it's over, so I'm just gonna go.
Beat the rush.
There's like 10 other cars in the parking lot. We're like the 6 o'clock show.
Kirk Cameron Saves Christmas. I came away from this thinking less that Kirk Cameron was a crazy person, and more that Kirk Cameron's sister's husband was a crazy person. Because from the blooper reel, it appears that he is the director of this film.
Yeah.
And it was a sad story, because it was
It makes me curious, though, if he's actually
passive-aggressively directing the only black character in this movie. Was most of the blooper reels, and then other ones were him asking Kirk Cameron, what does one do as an actor when one's mouth gets dry? Turns out, drink water? Turns out, drink water.
I don't know how you guys do this all the time.
Psh, sorry.
Quote from the director on drinking water.
Didn't want to drink water, had celery.
Have no idea how someone would drink water all the fucking time. I mean, what am I? Some kind of fish, too?
Then I just close my eyes. I'm going to close my eyes, and you're going to paint me a picture of how I'm a fish. Do it for me.
If that was someone in my family, that would be a family member I didn't fucking talk to.
Well, you wouldn't follow him out to the car and explain Christmas to him?
No, I'd look outside, and if somebody asks, like, hey, where'd he go? I'm like, I don't know. He's outside being an asshole.
Yeah, well, because I feel like I'm talking really loud, but this movie's got me hyped. No, he was explaining how sometimes people don't catch the Christmas spirit. Like if, for example, they've lost a job, or a loved one, or they're this guy. And I guess apparently you're supposed to use this exact method on all three of those categories. Is just explain to them why they're being a stone-cold bummer.
Condescendingly patronize to them first.
And ruining Christmas for everyone.
Like, okay.
And they should probably go inside.
I see what you mean.
And slide on their belly and run into the Christmas tree.
That's what you should do. But you're wrong.
All wrong. Everything you just said.
Everything. All of it. Everything you said. All the things you said. Every little thing you do. Don't know how you do what you do. Fish. Fish.
Maybe that's why he had a problem with the walrus. He's already got a stupid fish face.
But yeah, this is one of the stupidest fucking things I have ever seen in my life. I honestly have a hard time right at the moment thinking of where to even fucking start. Oh my God. This movie was like 10 minutes of Kirk Cameron talking to the camera, telling us how much he loves Christmas.
And fat hams.
And
Coco.
Coco and...
Big fams and fat hams. And Christmas trees. And how you're gonna try and tell him that the Coco was invented by pagans, but he's gonna set you straight. Smash cut 2.
and then a few minutes of terrible animation that seemed like it was probably trying to display something, but they kept putting gigantic titles for, like, you know, everything going on, like, you know, DP and first assistant and all that shit.
Yeah, this movie had like 3 different credit sequences.
Over the little animation thing that they were doing. Which usually you do your animated thing and then show some credits, or like here's a thing going on in the animated thing. Director of photography, this guy. Nope, it's like, here's 2 people, and then, oh, here's the here's the title for somebody. The thing in the background you can see was still moving, but I don't know what the hell was supposed to be showing.
It seemed to be showing the story of the birth of the baby Jesus, and it was kind of outlining some of the stuff that Kirk Cameron was saying was the case. Like, for some reason they added like 20 wise men, which he never really addressed, but they
didn't really address the other 3 either, though.
Yeah. Well, they addressed like the whole why he tried to make it seem as though the reason they had brought burial oils to the birth of the baby G was not so much because that shit is expensive and so a really good present back in the day, but more so because they knew that he was going to die, and so they were reminding the mother of that fact. So, like,
I think the wise men thought, like, she's probably into Lana Del Rey, like most girls are currently.
No.
So they're like,
No.
oh, what's
No.
baby, we were born to die.
No. I'm back.
I lost my soda. No, keep talking about Kirk Cameron's insane
I was
bullshit.
helping you look for your sign.
Vamp!
So it's basically, I'm sure they've been over this. It's basically Kirk Cameron going out to the car to his sister's husband and explaining to him why all the things that
Why he's an asshole.
Generally would be a Christian person's argument for why you shouldn't have the crass commercialization of Christmas is wrong because of convoluted paths he's drawn to particular points in the Bible.
This movie was like if you watched a documentary about JFK, but it was told by Jesse the Mind Ventura.
This is generally where I'd break into a Jesse the Mind Ventura impression if I could in fact do a Jesse the Mind Ventura impression, but instead I'll just...
Don't take words from my mouth!
McMahon!
You're not my commanding officer!
I've been to Alaska! It's
Fracking.
just... It's hard to put into words how mind-bogglingly stupid this movie was.
Kirk Cameron had an easy time putting it into bullshit.
It's like fucking. I yelled. I said "fuck you" in perhaps a louder voice than I generally would have at 2 points in this movie, and I'm trying to remember where they were. One of them, you know
anywhere.
what? I do remember. One of them was when he was talking about why you hang ornaments on the Christmas tree.
Oh yeah.
And that is because the tree of good and evil in the Garden of Eden got fruit removed from it by Adam. So the only way to make up for that sin against God is to put fruit back up onto the tree. And since we took it into ourselves, that's why Jesus was crucified, because he was putting the fruit in his body back up on the cross, which is the tree. Which is just one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. Like, ignoring the fact that the whole point of taking the fruit from the tree of good and evil was taking the knowledge of the difference between good and evil, and the reversal of that wouldn't so much save us as doom us to soullessness. The fact that he would try to incorporate that concept into the idea of Christmas made me say fuck you. And then this whole story is being played over this, like, tiny little girl with a little woolen cap on, walking around like a tree lot, picking out a Christmas tree, rounds a corner, and there's a big old fucking crucifix. And she's like, yay!
Yeah, he says that the next time you're at a tree lot, just picture all those empty trees as empty crosses.
And picture an empty cross as having a Jesus on it. And picture every piece of cloth as being the swaddling / burial cloth of Jesus.
And when you think of that cloth, think of a tomb. And when you think of an empty tomb, you run your fucking ass!
And run and tell the tale, and all the while this like doomsday music is playing in the background. Like you're like wah wah whoopity whoopity wah. And every time they'd finish a tale like this, we'd cut back to this jackass in his car who was being explained this information by Kirk Cameron, having his mind boggled in the exact same fashion every single time.
And then 5 seconds later, it's like, okay, wow, I never really thought of Christmas trees like that before.
But hang on a minute.
But wait, what about Santa? Oh, I'm gonna put on my red suit, and I'm gonna comb my beard. I'm gonna carry a bag. I'm gonna take a present and put it in a bag. I'm gonna carry a bag.
What are you gonna say about that one?
Is it in the Bible? Is it? Let me check my Bible.
Red letters.
Let me check the Bible. Is it here, Corinthians? No. Did it fall out? Is Santa on the floor because I dropped him out of my picture Bible? No. Well, let me turn the page. Baby, here's the numbers.
And this whole spiel, Kirk Cameron's just
that is
there,
not
like,
fucking exaggerating. Oh yeah, the whole time Kirk Cameron's just
cool story, bro.
Yeah.
No.
I'm gonna let you do this for like 5 more minutes now.
Because by God, this movie is way too short. Longer sentences, longer pauses.
Satan, Satan, Santa, Satan, same letters. Coincidence? There's no other way that could happen because things never have the same letters in a different order because that's not how words work in my head.
I did like that during the Santa Satan part, he asked Kirk Cameron, what is that, just a coincidence? And I feel like Kirk Cameron didn't acknowledge that because this whole movie is predicated on the fact that there are no coincidences. No coincidences. No, okay. The part that annoyed me the most, because like barring the
out of everything
convoluted logic and the specious arguments, he never really addressed the whole consumerism thing. Because like at the very beginning, when the guy's first in the car and complaining about all the different things that are wrong with Christmas, waving his hands a lot, he says, I watched the children opening just their piles and piles of presents that they're not going to play with in like 3 weeks. And I think, how many children could we have fed with the money we spent on those? How many wells could we have dug? And Kirk Cameron said, well, when you look at the presents in a line, it kind of looks like the skyline of Jerusalem. And you have to remember, this is the other part that I said, fuck you. I think you were actually listening to him at this point.
I was zoning out so hard at this point.
Is that we are celebrating the Son of our Lord, Jesus Christ, receiving a material body. So we celebrate it via material goods. So you see, children, we're not spending money that we could be donating to the poor. We are celebrating Jesus being a physical thing by buying a shit ton of physical things. Whee!
So that's what that 3DS stands for. Oh man, it makes...
It's a big old chunk of Jesus. Play with this DS, for it is my body. Drink this hot cocoa, for it is my boiling hot blood. I made myself giggle on that one.
This movie, it's the closest thing I could possibly compare this to is that fucking that documentary they have for The Shining. That
I'm
room,
not familiar.
room 327 or whatever the fuck the name of it is. because it's all about like batshit crazy conspiracy theories. Like,
Oh, like the fact that he's got like a little spaceship on his sweater means that Stanley Kubrick faked the moon landing?
yeah.
Okay, I didn't realize that was from a thing. I thought that was just one of those internet things. It was.
No. There's a whole it's a mesmerizing documentary, but everything about it is insane.
Okay.
Well, like they break down like, like like the about how like the patterns and everything are very like sort of like Native American patterns and textiles and everything in the Overlook, and these very distinct colors, in the mountain regions, and that's to signify the massacre at like Little Bighorn or some shit like that, and like that's why there's like lingering shots on like some fucking like cans of oatmeal or something when Dick Halloran is showing them like, and here's where I have like the 50 boxes of cereal, 500 things of Pop-Tarts, and there's like lingering on like a can of oats with like an Indian's head on it to just, that was his way of saying like, I know what happened to you and we're sorry for the Trail of Tears, and that's the closest thing I can compare this movie to, because it's the same amount of insane bullshit.
The closest thing I can compare this movie to is a speech made by ancillary characters within this very movie from behind empty coffee mugs. I don't know if they've discussed this or not, but they keep cutting back to the party.
That was one of the worst scenes I've ever seen in a thing.
I don't know why they did it either. I don't. Maybe they're like making fun of themselves, because it had to be self-parody. He actually went like, Fox News said it, so it has to be true. Because
bitches, you're the demographic.
Well, because at the beginning, Kirk Cameron says that there are two groups of people who are attacking Christmas. There's the outside group that says, keep Christmas to yourselves, man. Stop being so ostentatious about Christmas, which I don't know who the fuck he's talking about. And then there's a group.
I don't like Christmas music and like all the like keep Christ in Christmas bullshit. Like, keep that to yourselves. Like, I don't give a shit.
Personally, like, I feel that it's not so much, generally speaking, a keep that bullshit to yourself as, hey, how about we also put up a menorah?
Yeah, see, that's my thing. Is like, it's like I'm not like one of the people who's like, it's like, yeah, I'm an atheist, so I'm gonna go to the Capitol and insist that they put like an atheist letter to the public right next to like the Festivus pole.
Is that what the atheists have for Christmas? Is a letter to the public reading, Dear F. Faithen?
Yes.
To whom it may concern.
At the Capitol a couple years ago, like they were talking about, like it's like, oh yeah, they had like they set up like a Christmas tree, like a big like menorah set up. They actually put a fucking Festivus pole, celebrating religious holidays that don't exist. Fuck you, Seinfeld fans. I don't give a shit. I hated that show then. I don't like it now. But yeah, there was a letter for like atheists to read about non-support of holidays. There was like, I don't know, like a Buddhist like shrine they put up. Like, there was just weird shit.
You could put a Santa hat on the Buddha.
You can put a Santa hat on the fucking atheist letter if you want to. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not one of those people who's like, it's like, oh, tear down these Christmas lights. But no, I don't need to like, have somebody ringing a bell in my face every time I walk into another fucking store looking at me like I'm an asshole for not throwing a fucking quarter into their little bucket. Because you know what? You're the 15th guy I've seen today ringing a fucking bell. I don't give a shit about the Salvation Army. I don't give a fuck that you're cold.
I have never once come across a Salvation Army guy that treated me like an asshole for not putting money in there. Are you like...
Oh, my friend, you're missing out.
Are you doing it particularly ostentatiously? Or like and then just keep walking?
No, I walked past the guy. Like, I had to go to the store. I go in. Walk right past the guy. He's like, clang, 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 like right in my fucking face. Like, he wasn't even ringing the fucking thing till I got like 5 feet away. And he's ringing this thing like mad.
Sir, I think you may not have noticed me.
It's like, no, I noticed you. Walked in the door, came back out, and like an hour later I had to go there again, still ringing his fucking bell. And when I'm leaving again, he's like, yeah, the children thank you this year at Christmas. I'm like, yeah, fuck yourself.
And then you guys had a fist fight.
It's like, no, he was very fucking passive aggressive. Like, yeah, thanks for your contribution. Yeah, keeping the kids warm. They'll be happy this year. I don't give a shit. We'll go back and put cigarette butts in there. I don't even smoke.
Pick some up off the
We'll
ground.
find some and put them in there. It's like, I don't know, here's a wooden nickel. Take that back out, that's actually worth something. Look at like Subway tokens.
We don't have a Subway.
I know.
Or do you mean like Subway sandwich tokens?
Either. Like
Okay, so there's a
like
speech within the
redeeming
movie.
card, but very shortened. Like, oh, it's only got 3 punches. It's not gonna buy like 4
They
more
don't
sandwiches.
do those cards anymore.
I know. Even better.
Why do you still have those?
I don't
Like
throw
the ones with
anything
the
away.
little stickers on them.
I don't throw anything away in my wall.
That's why it's like this fat. So there's a speech inside this movie that's been told, because like this whole time they're cutting between explanations of Kirk Cameron's bullshit and Kirk Cameron in the car with his brother-in-law. And then all of a sudden, we're at the party proper. And we're between only black guy and weird cat whisperer looking white guy. Are you familiar with the cat whisperer?
No.
I'll pull up a picture. He's a goddamn dead ringer. Anyway, so they're both sitting, like, one's in the foreground, I'll be up here, with this coffee mug, and the other in the background, and they're like, you know about the war on Christmas, don't you? What? Yeah. Be careful, though, they could be watching. Coffee mug's up. And then, was it like a different person's voice doing that bit?
No, see, the problem when you do something stupid like that, because he goes on the cat whisperer guy, Christian hipster guy, who really wishes he was black.
You keep talking. I'm gonna pull a picture of the cat whisperer for you real quick.
You do that. They had him doing like this really fast, like beat poetry style, like rambling nonsense.
This part will all be cut out. Why is my bag full of bags of crackers?
I was gonna ask, is this just bags of potato chips in there? Like, what the fuck is crinkling so much?
Crackers.
Your thing is full of fiery chili cheese crackers.
Here's my phone. Okay, continue.
Keeping these.
You may have one, but the other one's mine.
But yeah, he's doing this really fast beat poetry thing. But I have the feeling that he couldn't keep it all together to do in like one long take or even like a couple like mid-length takes.
Uh-huh.
So they just recorded him reading it. And oh, holy shit, that could be the same guy.
Hang on, here's one with a picture of him with a caption, Cat Daddy.
What? Who has sideburns and a beard? That's dumb.
This guy. Apparently his name is Jackson Galaxy.
Of course it is.
He whispers to cats.
From the cosmos.
He's got a guitar case full of catnip. I am not joking.
Done talking to me. But he's got this really fucking long monologue that he does. But it seems like it was too hard for them to do in one take. So they figured, let's have him hold something in front of his face.
Is that why they did it?
But instead of still having him read it, because he's like gesturing and doing all this shit the whole time while hiding behind a coffee mug, instead, what they did was they just looped it in, and the ADR was really bad and completely different pitch. So that's why whenever he starts talking, it sounds totally different, like he's talking into like a weird microphone from like 2 feet away. All right, man, let's put these cups down.
I thought they were doing that as a joke. Like, isn't it funny how this guy has a completely different voice with this coffee mug in front of his mouth? What a hilarious prank we are pulling.
Nope, that is just really, really bad dubbing.
Ah, boy. Well, anyway, he starts going to like all these like wacky conspiracy theories about how they're trying to put the kibosh on Christmas, and they're like saying like out there stuff.
It reminded me of when
Like put the pink slime on meat and the moon landing.
It reminded me of that one Mr. Science Theater when Crow does like beat poetry. You see, they're all the same.
I think when life gives you lemons, Yeah, make lemonade. Thanks. Oh my God, bless. That's a different one, but I don't care.
Crunchy robot. But yeah, it's a baffling, weird, fucking stupid movie. But if you really take everything out of it,
Take out the Mary. Take out the Joseph.
take the baby
Take out the baby G. Don't worry, he'll be back.
We're
And
keeping
just
him
leave
safe.
a rock in the middle of a cave. Continue.
Christmas.
All things must die.
Jesus.
Womp womp, wiggity wiggity womp.
But like, if you take out the really long intro from Kirk Cameron sitting in his big comfy chair, and the animated thing, and the feature-length dance video, and
You're talking about the God Rocks dancers.
yes, the God Squad, God Rocks,
It was the God Squad.
Kirk
Featuring-
Cameron's nieces and nephews
Featuring
dancing.
4 excellent dancers and 1 mediocre one.
They kept hiding.
You can kind of see her flailing out the side every once in a while.
It's like, let's put you behind the thick girl. There you go.
And that was a surprisingly bootyful dance for a Jesus dance. They kept like doing arm stuff, and then when you kind of got in the swing of it, they just like turn around and smack themselves on the butt.
Well, they got it from their mama.
Yes.
And
Who
also
got
their
it from
heavenly
Jesus? Jesus created booties. And the winter solstice.
But that's just such a bullshit way to get around anything. Like, it's like, yeah, I know, like, a lot of people are going to be like, oh, but the winter solstice, oh, but Druids and the Celts, and they did all this stuff in winter. Yeah, you know what? God made the winter. Well, what about trees? Because they're, like, fertility symbols and everything. You know who planted the trees? Johnny Appleseed. You know who planted Johnny Appleseed?
Johnny Appleseed's daddy. You know who planted that? Jesus.
Like, that's like...
Well, they had
I
like a
fucking
little
hate-
bullshit explanation on the trees. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. That I will admit I zoned out on, but it seemed like it was like how the early churches had trees in them. But I feel like they could also have stolen them from the Druids.
You know what my biggest thing of all of that is? How many pine trees you see in the desert? If anything, shouldn't we be decorating some other sort of fruit tree?
Like, well, because I think that I heard that the tree of good and evil, the fruit on it was purported to be like a fig rather than an apple.
Yeah, like a fig or a lemon would make
Why would
more
you bite a
sense
lemon?
geographic.
God damn it, Adam.
Because every other fruit he ate was like, wow, this is very palatable. Like, oh, this is the one God said not to eat. I bet he doesn't know any better. How? Oh, I have the knowledge of good and evil now, and this is evil. Oh, I see why he told me not to. Ooh.
That's what you get.
I'm sorry. Oh,
Outski.
it's so tart. Oh, it's so tart. Oh.
Honey, I know now you have to go through the pains of childbirth, but in my defense, it looked delicious. I'm blaming him in my version of the story. She's like, no, don't eat it.
But like his explanation of things, like oh, we got to think, like trees have been around forever. God made trees, and then what did man make churches out of? Trees. And what did he put inside the churches? Trees. It's like, yeah, we get it. Everything was made out of wood back then. Because you know what? All they had was wood and fucking rocks.
We covered the rocks already.
Exactly. So it'd be very stupid to bring that back.
I think we should decorate a rock for Christmas.
Every
I feel
church
like-
is essentially the inside of a large tomb.
And the altar is the rock. Or the plinth, if you will.
So there's a true meaning of Christmas.
Trees and rocks.
And death.
Oh, and I loved that I actually predicted accurately the ending of this movie, because he was talking about how the nativity scene, in order to be accurate, should be surrounded by soldiers. I'm like, this is gonna be the goddamn Nutcrackers, and he didn't mention it, and I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I was wrong. And at the end, like this amazing revelation, his brother slides into home, in front of the little nativity scene within the snow globe, looks up, and there's a giant fuck-off nutcracker just looming over. I'm like, oh, I speak the language!
I particularly still like your family's nativity scene, which is like
Leah.
Jesus and Mary and Joseph and a couple of sheep and 2 wise men and an RX-78 Gundam.
Yeah, there's a Gundam in there. And then we've got a blocks in the front that spell Leon.
I've just always appreciated the fact that the Gundam in there is the
He's not a wise man, though. He's an angel.
Oh,
he
he's the
stands on the top. I think we just lost one of the wise men. It's the reason for the season. Look,
It'd make more sense if it was Wing Gundam.
God created Gundams. And Leon.
I don't even know what to say about this fucking movie.
I think we've said it already.
I mean, there's all the stupid shit, but yeah, like I was saying, like if you cut out all the ancillary stupid shit, like I said, like the intro, the dance party with all of Kirk Cameron's nieces and nephews,
Which I still maintain, the only reason they had that is because Kirk Cameron can apparently do the worm, and he wanted everyone to know about it.
and then there's outtakes, which again are just the director berating the one black man, and it's not humorous. Like,
No.
like black man is trying to do like wacky black man shtick, and then he's just sitting there like no, take it back, reset, go back to 1. No, keep fucking
Reset.
up. We can do this all day. It's digital.
Reset.
It's like, okay, asshole.
Considering that all of his
You
lines
asked-
were like 5 minutes long with no breathing pauses.
It's like you asked him to be the wacky black man in your movie. Sorry, he's doing a good job at that. Like, there's literally a point where like it cuts out his audio, and you can just see him like doing like,
Dancing around a
Fucking,
circle
like,
and waving his
neck
hands and
roll.
doing like a kind of a little dance.
and like at a point it's like, oh my god, he's actually having him shuck and jive. Like he's actually like,
Well, plus one of the lines is how they're gonna march on Washington, like his people once did, because they took away Wacky Shirt Friday Day. Lines written by a white man.
like all that taken out of it. Oh, and then the 5-minute freestyle.
Oh, we're still taking
rap
stuff out, I'm sorry.
thing. Well, yeah, if you get rid of all of that,
The freestyle rap was at the very, very end.
yeah.
Which I think you're still mad at me for making us sit all the way through because
Yes, I am.
I wanted to see how it ended. And it ended with Kirk Cameron, Kirk and Cameron.
But you take all that out,
Movement.
in the actual movie is probably maybe a half hour.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you take out all the shit that is obviously just padding, it's maybe a half hour.
25 minutes if you take out all the pauses between words and that guy's having his 20 revelations in the car.
Or even when Kirk Cameron's breaking stuff down for him, like, it's like, here's what you're gonna do. You're
Line.
gonna go inside.
Gonna go up to my sister.
You're gonna go up to my sister.
I think he was leaving pauses for us to put in
And what you're gonna do.
humorous alternative lines for him.
That's all I kept doing the whole time. I'm like, it's like, there's a big enough gap here, I might as well fill it with something. Dick jokes, mostly.
Yeah, between you know what we need to do and
Anal.
we should start a movement, I was able to say kill them all a total of 4 times. 4 times! And I wasn't even like rattling him off. It was kill them all. Kill them all. Kill them all. Kill them all? Start a movement. Oh, okay.
That's what I was gonna pick next.
I love a movement, was his next line spoken unironically.
Like when he goes in there and like talks to his wife, like, honey, there's been something I've been wanting to tell you for a long time that I'd like to do for you. Mm-hmm. Anal.
I heard you
Like,
say anal at
it-
least 5 times.
It's something unpredicted.
Anal.
And I know you've been wanting me to do it for you. Hip hop dance party. Damn it! I was close.
mean, the pre-anal hip hop dance party.
It's like, I know everyone's gonna say, like, this is the point where you do, like, a cheesy, like, the predictable, like, Hollywood kiss, but I'm gonna do the exact opposite. I'm like, it's gotta be anal.
It's like, exact opposite end.
Nope. Hip-hop dance party.
Hip hop dance party with beatboxing by the only black man in the movie. I tell a lie, his son was in there briefly.
You're not a man yet.
Look, that credit sequence had like 5 last names total. There was Cameron.
Smith, camera. Next screen, blah, 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 blah.
Wicked you.
Womp, 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 womp.
We should probably...
Like the dubstep Satanic beating the shit out of a guy, though.
Yeah,
I see why Brad liked that part so much.
I feel like I'm not familiar with that. I'm not familiar with that story, but I feel like perhaps I too would have excommunicated him for straight up murdering a guy during a discussion about whether or not Jesus was holy for saying that Jesus was not holy. Because, toys and presents aside, he straight up murdered a guy for disagreeing with him. Which may have started some Christian tenets that have held true in years past that.
It's like, no,
His name was like
guys.
Paul the Heretic, and I swear to God he must have been played by the Cat Whisperer guy because they were running out of dudes.
It's totally cool that he killed a guy, because he did it to like, you know, stand up for Jesus.
Yes, who's all about killing dudes.
I like how Kirk Cameron explains all of this stuff, you know, and then keeps going on about how, like, one of his favorite parts of Christmas is the big Christmas ham.
Because of the Hogfather.
No.
Hogs Watch?
No.
Decorate an oak tree with sausages.
No. There's no explanation for the gigantic ham. It literally, the ham he has is the size of, like, my fucking torso. What kind of fucking, like, mega pig he killed. Last year's blue ribbon winner at the county fair, pert near as I can reckon.
I made a big fuck off ham one time. I basted it in rum and cherry Dr. Pepper. Them shits was tasty.
But he's going on about that, and like, you know, having a giant salted ham, just the way Jesus would have had one.
Jesus was all about the hams.
Because you know, they cooked up so many succulent roast pigs back then, you know.
Look, it's really hard to get... I don't know what they would have eaten. Goat, maybe?
A falafel? I don't know.
Okay, I was worried that a goat would sound... Because I know that goat is a thing that one could eat in the Middle East, but fucking falafel. Falafel and crab juice, that's what Jesus said.
He probably had a fucking fish.
Yeah, that makes sense. Fish for Christmas.
Probably baked some bread.
Based that fish and rum and cherry Dr. Pepper.
Put his unleavened bread in the miraculous bread leavenator.
The miraculous bread leavenator!
The Bible according to Marshall.
What number am I thinking of Jesus?
But yeah,
I think we're just padding with references because we're running out of stuff to say with this stupid movie.
there is every likelihood that this is, if you're watching this one, this is the third time that all of this has been said. Like Sarah, I haven't watched the other two.
I plan to when I get home now.
Yeah,
I'm curious.
I'm kind of curious to see what they pointed out.
I want to see if they made it to the end of the rap. Because that was 90% of the reason I stayed. Because I'm like, there's no way in hell these fuckers had the willpower to stay through this 5-minute rap sequence at the Marvel movie end bumper of the credits. Because it's...
And it's rap, y'all. It's
improv rap. And there's a part in the middle that gets weird with it because he's talking about, your father hates you. Go and get your crew. Dress in baby blue.
It's like, you're just
Again, I'm not making that up.
saying things. Like, I know that everything is just saying something, but you're just saying things. Fucking words, man.
You need to start listening to Comedy Bang Bang, because the earlier episodes they used to do rap battles, which is basically they had like a subject that they had to rap about, and then they just make up a rap, and usually the guests had no idea that that was what was about to happen, and those raps were better than this rap. And those raps usually started with, "My name's Rappin' Scott, and I'm here to say I love rapping about fall in a major way."
The leaves and the trees and the breeze on my knees.
You win!
Yeah!
I would fail so hard at a rap battle. Again, I would get, "My name is Barney Rubble, and I'm here to say I love Fruity Pebbles in a major way." He loves Fruity Pebbles in a major way.
We keep doing that.
Yep.
Like 50% of it is putting a hood on. I've
Alright.
watched 8 Mile.
Mine's fuzzy. Is that a problem?
No. I think it should be.
Mom spaghetti?
Yes.
Mom spaghetti. Look, I wrote down the previews, but they're just gonna seem like a... This is gonna seem like an anticlimax at this point, because most of them we've seen already. We got Selma, which actually looks good. It's the Martin Luther King one. Night at Museum, which I'm looking forward to just because I'm gonna be laughing my ass off at the person who goes to see it with me.
Not me. Not this guy.
Smash Cut 2.
God damn it!
Not me. Nuh-uh. No way. No way in hell. Never. Nonver. Noonver. Annie. Little boy. I've got in parentheses little brother.
Oh
Little
my
brother wants to
God.
move a mountain.
Brad told me about that
Shoot
trailer
for
the other
90
day,
yards.
and it was so much fucking stupider than I thought it was gonna be. It looks like a fucking comedy sketch, except they're all so serious.
The thing is, like, I'm sure it's gotta be Jesus-y themed and obnoxious, but, like, if you look at it at face value, where it's just this little boy who loves his dad, and his dad goes away to war, and some shyster tricks him into thinking he's got psychic powers, and then when his brother's trying to convince him that no, he fucking well doesn't, he tries to move a mountain and an earthquake happens to happen.
Okay, you leave Mandrake the Magician alone.
Shyster?
Yeah, say that when he's defending the Earth with fucking the Phantom and Flash Gordon. And Race Band. I don't know, there was a fourth guy, I can't remember.
Defending the Earth by giving superpowers to random children. Now that I think about it, you know, Captain Marvel. The Zim and Zam.
What?
I'm trying to think of, like, actual comic book characters who gave superpowers to little children.
Oh, yeah, I guess, yeah. Captain Marvel's a good example because he's just a kid until he shouts, Shazam!
And he turns into a grown-ass man with grown-ass man bits.
What else does that? The comic book Superior did that too. It was like a kid with like MS who like falls asleep and when he wakes up he's like fucking Superman. But
Does he still have MS?
No, but he still has the mind of a fucking like 8th grader. So he's doing really dumb shit.
Wouldn't you? I have the mind of a 30-year-old and I'd still do dumb shit if I had superpowers. The one I wrote for you, which, again, I think they were trying to hide the Jesus-y nature of that movie because they never actually showed the guy singing. The plot of it was basically like, this guy is living in poverty with his wife and child, and they're like, you should sing, Daddy! And he's like, people won't like the kind of music that I do. And then there was like a music
Because it's
contest.
bad? Like,
I figure it's gotta be because it's about Jesus. You know? Because everyone's down on the goddamn Christians.
he plays the cat organ.
He plays the mouse organ. The Bells of St. Mary's. I'm like squishing in every reference I possibly can in this review. And so, but every time like he gets his guitar, he just goes, and then they switch to the next scene. So it's gotta be Jesus music.
That's like the bait and switch they do to like get people to go to a movie, and they're like, "Huh, 5 minutes in, did not realize this was going to be a musical."
Oh, Into the Woods.
This is going to keep singing at this point, aren't they? Not really much stopping it now, is there?
Nope.
Shit.
Yeah, Emily's husband still has no idea that that it's a musical. I'm not telling him. He hates musicals. He's like, this looks really cool, like fairy tales and stuff. I'm like,
oh man.
And then hymn song, which I
thought it said Hillsong.
hymn song. You see, it's H-I-M.
Hymn song.
Sorry, it's a capital
lyrics.
H-I-M. Yes, I enjoyed that. I was trying to think of like a good
Werewolf. there.
Let's see, it's a clever play on pun or play on words, wherein it's spelled H-I-M. Sorry, capital H-I-M. But it's like a hymn, like H-Y-N-M. H-Y-M. H-Y-M-E-N.
But if you take the S and slide it over and then separate the G, then it's like hymns on G, which is hymns on God.
So it's basically like a Christian sing-along. I like to think that it's actually a bait and switch and they're just going to sing songs by the band Hymn.
Well, this is wildly unexpected.
This Bam Margera shows up out of nowhere. We're flipping this bitch.
I'm Bam Margera.
Come on, you guys, stuff funny.
We saw him like yesterday.
I didn't see him even walk over there. People
He was
kept walking
smirking
by,
and wearing more
grumbling about
jewelry
it.
than Mr. T.
He was wearing
He was wearing a ring that looked like the one that like Prince John is wearing in like the Robin Hood cartoon,
the one that
where he's like
sucks
sucking the diamonds out of. Like, it's like, what the fuck are you wearing?
Here's a ring pop.
Probably.
Yeah, people kept walking by the table like, fucking Bam Margera. Goddamn. Shizer.
Feel bad for
Rip-off
those.
artist.
Feel bad for those cosmetics people.
Oh yeah, they came over like, yeah, we're by Bam Margera. Because the line was just past their booth, no one can freaking see them.
Nope. Killed their sales. I feel bad for that. I also feel bad that I can't remember their name, so I can't even give them like a shout out.
Yeah, it's cruelty-free cosmetics.
The guy was nice. I've seen him in a couple different shows before.
Yeah. Pretty sweet tie. So, final thoughts.
Cruelty-free makeup. Bam Margera is a tool.
I feel like we've been talking about this movie for 2 hours, because normally we've got like the light turning off, giving an indication about every 15 minutes, but yeah, I feel like we've been talking about this movie for 2 hours.
Oh, there was one thing that Brad did want me to bring up, though.
Oh, okay.
Apparently, since this movie got released, apparently Kirk Cameron has been urging people, fans of his, devout Christian followers, to go online and post amazingly, glowingly positive reviews on every site they can find to skew the ratings for it so that it doesn't look like quite a piece of shit.
So if you are a fan of not that...
Because, hold on, I screenshotted a couple.
Oh, vamp.
Oh, no, like,
Okay.
they're all, like, 5-star reviews up on, like, Fandango and shit like that. It's like, Kirk Cameron Saving Christmas. These are the type of movies we want to see, and our families need to see. Super funny, but down to the point of what Christmas is all about. Jesus was born. My husband and I took our 2 boys, ages 9 and 12, both of who were engaged throughout, and then filled with questions afterwards.
Like, what the fuck was that we just saw? Was that guy an idiot? Or a straw man.
So thankful for the clarity offered by this film regarding Christmas history and symbols through a biblical rather than secular worldview. I wish there were more movies like this, and for those who don't like it, keep your opinions to yourself. Then
I wish you'd told me that earlier. We could have saved ourselves this review.
And then there was one guy here who... this is my favorite one that I could screenshot here. There was a guy who wrote a 5-star review who put the subject of it to offset the "oh no" guy who hasn't seen it and left a negative review. And then the one below it, which is 1 star because Fandango doesn't let you put 0, who didn't write a review and just put as the subject line, "You have to be kidding me." So yeah, Kirk Cameron, stand-up guy, onward Christian soldier, and all that.
I feel like my final thought would have to be that, personal religion aside, as if I were that kind of devout Christian that this movie's talking about, the one who's not sure about, you know, the commercialism and the symbolism of what Christmas has become, I would hate this movie because it portrays me like a dooftard. Because, like, there are parts where he was explaining the point of view of people who have explained this point of view before in, like, this, like, the weird, obnoxious tone of voice, and not knowing facts that when they were writing the script, they could easily have Googled. Like, when he was, you know, Jesus wasn't born in December, and Kirk Cameron's like, oh, really, when was Jesus born? I don't fucking know.
When was he born? Enlighten me.
I don't know.
Dazzle me.
It wasn't December.
With your stunning intellect.
Look, you didn't tell me, okay?
Well, I know it wasn't December.
Santa Satan.
Looking in the back, I keep waiting for, like, Michael Myers, like, beer, like, climb up on the roof.
Is that something you expect often, or?
Well, I can't often see the angle like this to also see us in the car.
Final thoughts?
Christmas. I don't know. I buy shit for people. I like getting shit from people.
I like twinkle lights.
Yeah. I like the smell of Christmas stuff, but I really don't give a shit about the stuff itself.
Like the stuff that smells like stuff, or?
No, just like if there's Letty's really into like the decorating the tree and all that, so we do that.
Because it's awesome.
But I mean, if not for her wanting to do it, like if I was just left to my own, I probably wouldn't have a tree. Mm-hmm. I might buy some lights. Put them on something.
Hang them on your atheist letter.
Yes. Decorate my atheist letter with...
I'm getting a Santa hat for your atheist letter.
Yay. They don't just hand them out, like, not...
Take, like, hang some jingle bells from the bottom. They don't hand them out? Where do you have to, like, write your own? That seems like a lot of work.
You could probably print one off online, bro. But, yeah, it's like, I don't care. Like, people are always like... It's like, Merry Christmas. Like, oh no, people at Walmart said Happy Holidays. Boo. Boycott their store because they took Christ out of Christmas. Go fuck yourself.
I'm trying to remember. There's a comedian who's got a really cogent argument on that front, which is that what if the way everyone always greeted everyone was by going, hello, Bruce. And if your name was Bruce, all the better. And if not, you just kind of like, all right, and this went about your day. And then someone suggested, what if we don't just say hello, Bruce? What if we also say hi, Steve, or hi, Glenn, or just hi, so that it encompasses everyone, the Bruces and the not Bruces. And then all the Bruces rose up and demanded vengeance.
I like that. I like that line of thought because...
Google it, because I'm not saying... It is a comedian, I just can't think of who it is.
But yeah, it's one of those things, like, I've never really given a shit. If they say one, cool. If they say the other, cool. Like, whenever I worked jobs and they insisted, like, you have to say something, I'm like, okay, Happy Holidays. And if someone said, like, Christmas, I was like, holidays.
Gesundheit.
It's like, I'm a Christian. I'm like, that's cool. Aren't you glad I didn't say Happy Hanukkah? Like, I don't know, like, there's no way that you could please everyone. So just Don't say anything. Just say thanks. That works, right? Retail stores. Just
Why
say
are you
thanks.
trying to kill Christmas, Brad? You're in this group. You're in the theys.
I'm just trying to keep the moss in Christmas.
I feel like moss
There's all-
means more.
Technically, yes.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.